Let me share my screen. At any point of time, if you feel any technical issue related to my PPT or my voice, please let me know. I'll address it so that I can see if there is any issue regarding that. So again, welcome you in this post-lunch session of the program. Here today we are going to talk about research, and mainly when we do the research and when we are following some methods, some techniques, which will make our research work easier, then it will be like a plus for us, right? Now, today I am going to take you to different tools, techniques that will be really helpful for your research work. I hope many of you have already done the done PhD, as I can see, and many of you might be doing it, and might be in the future scope you will do, as well as the people who have already done the PhD. They are supposed to have the research scholars for the PhD and many different research activities. So keep that thing in mind. Uh, I'll take you to some of the tools and techniques in the research. And today, this particular session will not be only the theoretical one, it will also be considering different hands-on aspects. So whatever the tools and techniques I'll let you know here, I'll also tell the usage of it and how it is going to work so that it will be helpful. One more thing is, before going to that, we'll also do some sort of interaction. I'll ask some of the questions. So you please be attentive and kindly answer that in the chat box. It will be better if we'll do the communication in either direction. So let's go into this topic and let's understand what are the different tools and techniques are there which will make our research more effective. Okay. Now let's go and find it out. Let's say if we'll use any of the tools and techniques that we'll see today, then what are the importance of those tools and techniques? Now, first thing, our first significance of using these tools and techniques are making your research work more efficiently. See, what will happen is when we use the tools that I'll tell you here in later point of time, what will happen is the way how you accomplish your research work in a traditional way of, let's say, the reading the paper, writing the paper, enhancing the paper, all will be done in the manual process. It will take a lot of time, but the tools and techniques which we'll discuss today, if you'll take the help of that, it will reduce your time, much of your time, to complete your research work. First thing. Second thing is, this will simplify your research task, and it will also going to reduce significant amount of time and making your process more efficient. It means that, let's say, to do the work, you are taking, let's say, 2-3 months of time, but to use the tools and techniques which I'll let you know today, it will take much lesser time of, let's say, 15 days or 20 days to do the same work which you accomplish in 2 to 3 months. So it will increase the efficiency. Second, it will increase the accuracy. Now, what is the meaning of accuracy? The meaning of accuracy is, what will happen is, when we complete our research work with uh, with a manually. So what will happen is, generally they are having some errors. They might get some let's say the problem related to maybe the grammar, maybe the flow, maybe the results what you are getting, right? And when we used to read our own paper, once we complete it, it is very difficult for us to find it out, the problems, right? So that is the thing that will be done when we do our work manually. But if we'll use any of the tools and techniques, what will happen is, it will find it out the errors, it will increase the flow of your paper, it may also give you, like, do you have any grammatical or spelling mistakes available, and it will give you some suggestions also to improve your research work. There is no harm to using these tools if we use it wisely, and if we use those things in the in an ethical manner. Okay. Next is the organization. Now, what will happen is, let's say that in the process of reading different papers, uh, writing your own research, and completing your work, what will happen is, when we try to write the paper and try to recall what we have learned earlier, it will be like very much creating very much difficulty to recall what we have learned, let's say 2 months back or 1 month back, and what are the outcome we are getting from uh, those paper, those research work, or those work that we have. Okay, let me tell you one thing. The weather is not good here, so anytime the electricity could cut. Okay. Okay. So the organization of your research. So with the help of the tools and technique that we'll see today, we can actually make the thing in an organized way. And I'll let you know some of the tools that I am also using. Now, next thing is collaboration. Now, what will happen is, we used to have different collaborator of one research paper. It happened. Let's say my scholar is producing, so I am one of the co-author. If I am producing, maybe some of my colleague or some of the friends of my mine from different institute might be there, right? Whom I am collaborating and producing a research paper. So in that criteria, what will happen is, I need to share, let's say, my paper, the first draft of the paper, to them, so that they can give the input, they can enhance the paper, and we can send it to the publication. So what are the ways by which we can do that? So we have the tools. What will happen is, we got, let's say we have 2, 3 collaborators. So if we have 2-3 collaborators, now in that way, what will happen is if we'll share the first version, let's say version 1.0 of our paper to them, they will do some corrections and they will give us. Now it is our duty to compile all the changes that will be done by all three different co-authors and make a newer version of it. Now, sometime what will happen is we are getting confused that what are the changes done by which particular collaborator and how we are going to compile. So in that way, we may have different version of one paper, and we are very much confused that which particular paper we need to, or which particular paper are the paper that has all the changes that is done by all the contributors or all the collaborators. So it is better if we'll have only one version of it, and many people can work simultaneously in one research paper. It will be helpful for making, and it will not be hectic for us, right, to maintain. So with the help of tools, I'll let you know what are the tools that we have where we can do the simultaneous communication and the data sharing among the teams so that they can do and work on the one version of the paper. So there will be no multiple version of one paper, and confusion will be less. Reproducibility is also the thing. Now, what will happen is we all know that what is the meaning of citation, right? So the meaning of citation is somebody is using your paper, somebody uh, is using your paper for producing their own paper. Now they will take your paper and put it in the reference, right? In that way, they will cite you in their research work. That is the meaning of citation. Now, if somebody is using your paper, it means that one people has cited your paper. If multiple people are citing your paper, definitely the reach of your paper will increase, and the people will get to know that yes, you have done the good work, and that particular work will be used by many people. It means that the credibility of your paper will increase ultimately. Okay. Now, why this will happen? The meaning, the the reason will be like how you have created your paper. To have used the standardized tools and techniques? Have you used the standard way of data sets? Right. So if all those things are available in your paper, other researcher will be very happy to replicate your study, replicate your simulation, replicate your work, and they will do some enhancement and they will cite your work in their work, right? So in that way, what will happen is the credibility of your paper will increase. In that way, more number of citation will come to your paper. So if you use the standard tools and techniques, a standard way of writing a paper, then only it is possible. Otherwise, the citation would be less, very less. So, in conclusion, we can say that these tools and techniques, which we'll see today, are the backbone of modern research. They optimize the research process, ensure that scholars produce high quality, credible, and impactful findings. Now, let's go to and find it out some of the tools that is there in this particular session for you. So before going to this, there is some questions for you. Now the question is, what is the first step of the research? What is the first step of the research? You can answer me in the chat box. So I am opening the chat box. Anyone can answer me that. What is the first step of research? So in the research, what we follow? Very good. Literature. जोशी जी ने कहा literature. Anyone else? Selecting area of interest. Very good. Anita Joshi. Good answer. Anyone else? Anyone? Very good. Identifying problem. राजेश जी. और कोई? I think you all know about it, right? Please do answer. 58 people are online. So I am supposing at least half of them can give me the response. One is saying literature, second is saying selecting area of interest, identifying problem. Anyone else? और बताइए भाई, do we have any other people? Okay, finding gaps, very good. Dr. Gopal ji, Gopal Upadhyay, very good. Anyone else? Please respond. What is the first step according to you is the step for the research? What is the first step of the research? Okay. Okay, let us analyze. Finding the problem. Very good, very good. So, Nagarjun. Okay, Nagaraju. Sorry for that. Nagaraju has given showing us like find the problem. Okay, so let me tell you like how we start. Now, to start the research, first of all, when we say research is not like you produce the new thing, a brand new thing to your work, right? What we do in the research is some method, something has been already been invented. It's not a discovery or invention, right? So somebody has given some theory or some techniques. What we do is we use to enhance those theory or those techniques by supporting some of the property to it, and we say that these are the thing. Based on that, we can say that our method is good, or these are the property by which we can say that our method are giving the good result or better result than the previous one. Okay, so this is nothing but the research that we'll do. So for that, what is the thing that we need to do? So the first thing is you all should have your area of interest in mind, right? What is the area of interest of your research work? That should be in your mind, first thing. And based on that, there are two ways. The first way is to the problem statement, to finding the problem statement. So the finding the problem statement could be done by two means. One of the mean is you can go to your supervisor and he'll give you the problem statement, that this is the problem statement and you have to work in this particular to solve that particular problem. Second thing is you have the area of research in mind with you and you start digging the literature and getting the research gap out of it. This research gap will be your problem statement. And after framing the problem statement, now you go for doing the research. Okay. So to getting the problem or to finding out the research gap, we have a process. That process is called literature review, or it is also called literature survey. Okay. Now, in the process of literature review and literature survey, the first thing that we require is the literature. Here, the meaning of literature is to find out the research papers. Now, to find out the research paper, what should be the criteria? Okay. And what paper that we need to refer, right? So these things we'll see with the help of techniques as well as with the help of tools. So first, I'll let you know the technique of finding out good research paper. Now, to go into that, I want to ask from you a research area so that we can do it like practically. So any one of you, kindly give me a research area. Any research area, so that I can proceed further. Anyone? Cybersecurity, agriculture, IoT, broad scope. Yes, broad scope or the broad area. Leaf technology, very good. Okay. Graph theory in the mathematics, very good. Signal processing, very good. So I'm getting some of the research area. Very good. So let me take any of the research area. Cybersecurity will be very, very vast one. So let me take this agriculture, IoT in agriculture, right? It will be like, so I'm taking the IoT in agriculture as a research area. Okay, so the weather here in in our area is not good. Okay, so for that, what we do is we'll just go to the Google Scholar. Where I'm going to the Google Scholar. So you all know about it. In the Google Scholar, I'll just give the area, that particular area, and I want the paper in that area. Okay. So in the Google Scholar, I am writing ag. I'll just reframe it, IoT in agriculture. So I just reframe that area, that is IoT in agriculture. As you can see, now in this Google Scholar, as I told you in the literature survey, what is the first step? First step it is to find out the good paper. Now, how you'll find out the good paper? This is one technique by which you can get the good paper. Google Scholar, in the Google Scholar, you just give your area in which area you want to get the paper, the area. And then if you go to the left hand side, you will find out something. Now, what it is saying that we want the paper from 2025 onwards, 2024 onwards, 2021 onwards, or can we do some custom arranging? So we can do like this. Let's say I want the paper which is starting from 2022 and up to 2025, right? So I want like 22, 23, 24, and 25, last 4 year of paper I want. Okay. Now, if you see, they will give you the paper which has produced from 2022 onwards up to 2025. So they are giving you the papers, right? Next thing is how we are shorting these paper. So short by relevance or short by date. So you can choose any of these. By default, it is short by relevance. It should be related to this particular research area. Next thing is what type of paper we want, whether we want the review article or any type of paper, right? So it means that, see, there are papers of different category, but mainly there are two category of paper which are available, or the research which are available. One category is called the literature or the review article, and the second one is called research article. In the review article, what happened, you all know that many of the paper they will read out the paper and they will give you the gist of that paper. They will give you pros and cons, what are the technique they have used. In that way, the review paper has been made. So there is no new thing will be done, but there is a compiled way of learning different paper with one paper. That is the thing in review paper. In the research paper, what will happen is we have the research work which are available, and this research work means some new thing that we have to produce in that particular paper. So some sort of research that we'll do in that particular paper. Okay. Some new thing, new technique, new methods, new theory that has been produced. So any type, it is by default, it is selected. So whatever you are getting, it is a combination of both review articles and the research articles. Now the next one, it says that include patents and include citation. If you want the patent also in your research, then you can click it here. The patent also will come. Second says that include citation. It means that if you see any of the paper, you see cite by, it is written cite by. How many people have cited that? 31. How many people have cited this? 28. How many people have cited this paper? Is 369. It is 142. It is 62, right? Well, I told you like what is the meaning of citation. The meaning of citation is how many people have referred that particular research paper in their own research, okay, and published it. Now this will tell that how much credible this particular paper is, right? So it will tell you the credibility of this particular paper, okay, credibility of this particular paper. So as you can see, citation is good. Here also citation is good. Here also citation. So based on the citation, you can choose the credibility of the paper and you can refer that paper. Other thing is the publisher is also very, very important, where that research has been published. Okay, so this is published in Springer in 2023. It is published in some mrresearch.org in 2023, Elsevier, IEEE, Elsevier, IEEE, Elsevier. So you know that where that paper has been published. And at last, at very right hand side, you will find out the link where you can get that paper. Okay. On the right side, you can get the link where it has been, the paper will be available. So you can click to any any of the, like, if the PDF is available, you can click it and you can get, right? So this is one way to find out the good paper. So finding out the good paper, you have to find out like the the year when it has been published and number of citation it has. So based on the number of citation, the reliability is there. So if there are more number of citation, it means that that paper is more reliable. And we can refer it and we can go. See, always what will happen is we are wasting our most of the time for the paper which is not good or which is not worthy of reading, or it is not worthy where you can give your time, right? So it is better if you will filter it out those paper which is having a good thing or good work that has been already been done. So you'll find out that based on the citation, how much citation it has. Good paper will get, definitely will get a good number of citation. Okay, fine. So this is one technique. Now let's go to the tools which are available for finding out good research paper. Okay. So for getting out the tools, let's go to the slide and find it out. So the first one, which is listed here as a research tool, are called Paper Digest. As you can see, this is the link of this. I'll just take it and copy it. Okay. So this window is open to you. Everybody can see it. This is called Paper Digest. Now in this, what I'll do is I'll just put the research area which I have find it out. So it is IoT in agriculture. Okay. Now I'll click the search button. Now once I'll do that, what I get here some 10 number of paper, 1 to 10. It is also showing the impact factor. It means that all are the journal paper. First thing, or the paper which has been produced in the good publication house. Impact factor is showing here. Year is also showing here. These are the year when it has been published. So 10 paper, impact factor are 10, and I am in the so second thing what we got is the review of the related work. Now what is happening is all these 10 paper, we are getting at least 2 sentences related to each paper. 2 sentences related to each paper. See, 2 sentences related to each paper. Now I can do this. What I can do? Let's say I'll copy it. Just a minute. Okay, sorry for that. So what we do is, let's say what we got is we got 10 papers and the literature of those 10 papers, right? Now what we do, we just take a copy and paste it in any of, let's say, Word or something. Now, second thing, what we can do is, here it is written any time. Okay. Now here we can choose with any time, we can make it like past 5 years. So I want those paper which has been published in last 5 years. Let's do the search again. Now what we'll do, what we get again some 10 number of papers, and it is also going to produce the literature. Meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste the previous one. Now I got again 10 number of paper. As you can see, it is published in 2021, 22, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, right? And the impact factor and all showing here is all are reliable paper, and two sentences related to it is written. At least two sentences related to that has been written. Okay, now what we have? We have all those things again. Now again, I'll choose like past year. I want the paper which has been published in past year. It might be 2024 and 25. So it is giving you all the paper which has been published recently in 2024, and also the literature out of it. Yeah, right. So this again, I'll make copy of it. Right here also we have like past month, very recent. Do we have some published work in past month? So it is saying yes, all are from 2025, which has been published, and it is also going to produce the literature out of it. Now, could anyone tell me how many papers so far we find out in that particular area? So how many set we have? So we have around, this is 10, then we have 20, 30, 40, right? So we got 40 papers and some two sentences of those 40 papers, at least two sentences of related to those 40 papers, right? Now, can we use as it is all these things? So answer is no, you don't have to use it as it is. because the plagiarism issue will come because it is produced with the AI, right? So the AI detector will detect that these much of content has been produced by the or you have taken as it is. So what you can always do is you can always refer the next set of tool that we'll see in paper writing, where we can do the paraphrasing of it, as well as you can read it and you can make it like a different sentence out of it, right? So as you can read these two lines of related to this paper which is produced in 2016, and you can just reframe it so that that particular problem will be resolved. In that way, at least a conference paper you can make it out of very less effort, as well as you will get at least 40 reliable papers here. So this will help you on initially getting the papers and good quality paper. Okay. Now let's see some other tools which are available for your literature work. Next one is Elicit. Let's go and see this particular tool and what it can do. So I'm just putting that IoT in agriculture. Now what it is doing, it is supposed to give me the summary of top 4 paper in that area that I have written. Other thing what it can give you is it can give you a number of papers related to it. So you see slowly the number of papers are showing up here. You can also use a button which is saying load more. So this button you can use it. So they are going to give you more number of papers here. Right. Other thing you can do is, see, this is the summary of 4 paper. All those tools that we'll talk about is having some free versions and some free, you can say some free options what they have. If you want to use the advanced options, then you have to subscribe for that. Then there is a filter, as you can see, and in the filter, yes, the answer of this question is, and just now I told you. So what is this in the tool? What will happen is we got many problems related to finding out the PDF of that paper. It generally happens. So if you will apply the filter that it should have the PDF, right? And the publication I want, let's say from 2022 onwards. And the general quality which I am looking for is not less than Q3, right? If we'll do that filter and we'll apply it, so it will filter out the paper according to that. And it will just show those papers which has the PDF, which has published in Q1, Q2, Q3 category of journal, and has been produced from 2022 to up to till now. So you can see all the papers are having the source. If you go to the source, it will take you to the PDF of it. Okay. So all the paper has PDF. You can also see the citation of that paper. Based on that, you can identify whether it is a good paper or not. So in that way, you can load more number of paper. So you can load more number of papers. Slowly, you can load more number of papers. Okay. I think you are getting it what I'm saying. Next thing, what this tool can do is, you might have seen in the research, in the review paper or the literature paper, they will produce the comparison table. In the comparison table, the first one obviously is the paper. Then it will tell you some of the property of it. Uh, and in that way, they will create a table. Now that table, you can create it here also. So as you can say, the first one is the paper. Second is abstract summary of that paper, which has already been given here. Now, if you'll go further, right side, you will find out many other things. You can create some more columns. What are the things that you can create? You can create a column called summary. You can create the column called main finding. You can create the column called methodology. In that way, you can create many other columns as you want. Here it is written research gap, future research, finding sources, data set, right? So any of the column you can take it, limitation, right? Let's say if I want to put main finding, now it is creating one more column called main finding of that paper. And it is showing, means it is analyzing that paper and giving us that what is there as a main finding. See, slowly it is producing it. So you are not reading a single paper till now, but you are getting something related to that paper. Yes. So what I am saying is, in the literature work, it will not waste much of your time and use these tools and techniques. It will making your work more easier, more efficient. Okay. You can add, let's say, another column. Let's say I want to add a column called methodology. What methodology has been used? So you see, the methodology is also being added here, and it is producing the methodology, what methodology that paper has been used. So what I'm saying is, when we uh, got a paper for for the literature work, what we do is we used to read out that paper by keeping some of the questions in our mind, and we try to answer those questions by reading it. I hope you understood what I am saying. Without any question in mind, we cannot read a paper. Yes or no? Or to read a paper, we need the some of the question to be answered. Otherwise, like, I think you understood. So instead of, without reading a paper, if we are getting some of the answers, then what is the harm of it? There is no harm at all, right? And these tools are giving you that. So if you'll copy and paste that thing, let's say these 4 columns, and if you'll add some more columns, can we publish somewhere? The answer is no. Do not take the text as it is. Always you can take the help of it. You can always do the modifications. Paraphrasing you can do. Rephrasing you can do. All right? Because it is produced by the AI version of it. So AI detector will always detect what is the problem it has. So you can use these tools, but use it ethically, not unethically. I hope you understood what I want to meant for that. Now let's go to another tool. It's called consensus. Consensus is the tool which will help you on again to finding out the good and reliable paper. Here also they can ask the same question like IoT in agriculture. Then when I ask the question IoT in agriculture, it is giving me a write-up, and these are write-up are produced from 10 citations, as you can see. And these 10 citations are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10. If you want to load more a number of paper, you can load. So more number of paper will come. Right? As you can see, more number of paper are come. So in any of the paper you can go through, you can find it out the PDF is available or not. The citation, they used to give the citation all the time. They used to give when it where it has been published. So by that you can find it out which paper will be good for you. I hope you understood. So I'm not saying that you need to use all the tool which is there. You can use any of the tool which suits you or which you find is good a tool. So this option is always with you, which tool you want to use. If you have any question in mind, you can ask any of the question in the chat box related to the tool till now we have discussed. Okay. Now let's go to the third tool, which is called chat PDF. Uh, Now, what is this tool and how it will be helpful? let's say we have some of the paper that we can download, and any of these paper we can upload in this particular tool. Now what I'll do is I'll just download any of the paper related to this IoT in agriculture. Okay, so this particular paper has been produced in 2023 in a Stranger as in computer. What I'll do is I'll just upload this paper here in the chatpdf.com. Okay, whatever I told you, all are cloud-based tool. You doesn't have to install their even the thin client application into your system. Okay, just a cloud-based tool that we can use. So this is the paper which is already been published, and you can see it says that this write-up discuss innovative advancement in the use of IoT in agriculture, significant improvement in agriculture production. It is saying about the technique, new development. Okay, new development is saying some of the what are the is just the I think the review paper. What are the four crucial IoT technology mentioned in write-up? What challenges does the agriculture IoT faces? These are some of the question what it is suggesting to us. And at the bottom, you can find out a text box where it is saying ask any question. Okay, it says ask any question. Now here, what we'll do is we'll ask some of the questions. Let's say what technique of IoT is mentioned in this paper? It says that, and what it is doing it, whatever it is producing, it is producing from this paper only. It is not producing from outside this particular paper. Okay. So instead of, as I told you at the very earlier, whatever paper that will try to learn, we should have the prior questions related to that paper so that we can get the answer from that particular paper. That's why we used to go through the literature review to get some of the answer of the question. Now it says that the paper discussed several new technique and application of IoT in agriculture. So it is talking about these are the different techniques what with the help of IoT we can use in agriculture, right? Likewise, you can ask the question here. you can ask the question here related to this paper. Okay. And this is very good tool that you can use. Here also, it comes with the uh, free category and the subscription category. What you are seeing here is the free category. I have not subscribed for that. So you can see how much you can use in the limited version, whether it is whether you can use it up to the limited version, or you have to like go for the subscribe version. You can find it out by yourself. So these are the four tools related to the literature review. There are some more tools which are used for the literature review, which is called visual literature search. These are the tools that right now we'll not discuss about it. Now let's go to the management tool. Okay, literature management tool. Now in the literature management tool, I find out again this is a cloud based, which is called Hypernotes. Okay, what are the problem that we are facing when we do start the research? The problem that we are facing is to make an organization of all the things. Let's say we have downloaded 100 of papers. We have gone through those 100 of paper for last 3-4 months. But when we recall what are the paper that we have gone through at the first month or second month, what are the paper or what is the inside of that paper, it will be very difficult to recall. Now, when we do it in a systematic way, it will be better. Now, let's say this hypernotes, you can always create the book-like structure like this book. So you can create your notebook. Once you create a notebook, will be created like this. Now, in this, you will add up the pages, and each pages you can put on your literature. You can put on the graph. You can put on the table. You can put on the links. Everything you can put on and make it in one page. You can say one resource where you can get all the things. Okay, I'll show you one. How it look like when you create. So let's say here we have around 17, 18 pages. You see first page is this, where you have some of the thing that you have written and the links, and also you can always have those things. See, and you can go through those pages one by one. So you can put all your work in a systematic way in one place. Next thing is when you go for any sort of plagiarism tool, so that plagiarism tool will not going to get the content which is inside that cloud. Okay, because it is from in your account. So because it is in your account, nobody can see it. It is private work that you will do here. It is not going to the public domain, and it will not be detected by any plagiarism. So whatever you are putting here, it will be safe, it will be secure, and is a good way of keeping your work in one place instead of scattering or finding or getting the difficulty to finding out those later on. So this is one thing, which is a literature management tool. Let's go to the paper writing tool. Paper writing tool means once you have prepared your paper and you want to refurnish your paper, you want to make your paper ready to publish. So for that, any of the tool you can use. All the tool, the work of all the tool are the same, but maybe one or two functionality may be different in different tools. So first one is called Trinka. Let's go to that tool and find it out what it can do. So Trinka is a tool where you definitely in all the tool you have to log in by your account, okay, by your Gmail account. So if you have, or many of you have the Gmail account, you can use it. So once you go here, again, is not many of the functionality is free, but for using it in advanced version, you have to take the subscription upgradation. You have to do what it can do. It can do the proofreading. Proofreading means all your grammatical spelling mistakes could be resolved. They will also suggest some of the sentences need to be improved based on the flow of the information. Citation format, it will refer that how the citation could be done perfectly. Then you have different report, plagiarism checker are there, AI content detector is there, by which you can find it out your paper is having the content which is generated by AI tools or not. Plagiarism checker, you all know what plagiarism can checker can do. Citation checker will find it out the proper citation is there in a paper or not. General finder will find it out the generals, good generals related to your paper where it can be published. Then you have some add-ons, plugins. Okay, this is the Trinka tool. Let's go to the other tool which is called Quillboard. Quillboard is again a very good tool. I have used both Trinka and Quillboard. I find Quillboard is having the a very good essence of it, but both having like their own merits and demerits, their own advantages and disadvantages. If you are familiar or if you are getting a good connection of using any of the tool, you can. I'm just suggesting you these three tools. Grammatical checking, it can do the plagiarism check-in. Then it can also have the AI detector, translate facility is also there, summarize facility is also there. AI humanizer, it can make your text and making from more humanized than AI. Citation generator is there, which can generate here the citations. And flow, it can see the flow of your paper, whether you are going to a good flow or not. The flow, the meaning of flow is, see what will happen is when we transform our thought into the writing, sometime what will happen is we have something in mind prior because this is our paper, and we read it out and we think like, yeah, the flow is good. But the thing is that when a reviewer will read that paper, or when the third person will read the paper, they will find out that there are some dots that need to be connected. What will happen is in the first line you are talking about one thing, second line you are not at all relating to the first line, third line which is not at all relating with the second line and the first line. So what will happen is your flow in that particular sentence or flow in that particular paragraph or flow of the paper could not be in that accurate way. So it will help you on that. It will suggest you something. It is up to you that which suggestion you need to take up and which you do not, right? So this is the Quillboard tool. Then we have the third tool, which is called Paperpel. It is a combination of both Trinka and Quillboard. Here again, you have to have the email account for sign up. And again, it has some free functionality, and for advanced, you have to take the subscription. Okay. Now in this tool, you can add the document again. You can do many things related to it. See what you can do. You can do the editing. So it is saying that what are the things that you can. Okay, so what you can do is in the right hand side you can find it: edit, rewrite, write, search citation, translate, template, checks, chat PDF, upgrade, right? Many things you can do with this. It is suggesting you to improve. Generally, see what will happen is as Indian, if your writing is good, it's very good. If not, then you can always use these tools for enhancing your the quality of your paper. Okay, so these are all different paper writing tools. Then plagiarism checker tool. We have the plagiarism checker tool like Clack, Turnitin, Anago. All these three tools are not free tool. You need to subscribe it, but these tools are very good tool. The second one, which is called Turnitin, is that it is the world renowned tool which will be used in different uh, journals. And whenever you need to prepare the paper, I recommend you to check your paper before submitting it from the Turnitin. Then we have reference and citation management tool, which is called MyBib. See, I'll let you know the functionality of it. It's very good and helpful tool. Now, what happened is once we prepare the paper, we get to know that yes, this is the general where we are targeting to publish our paper, right? So once you will do that, the second thing will always be there is that what should be the style of the reference. So if you go to this mybib.com, you will find it out at the very uh, first thing that you need to choose is which journal you are targeting to publish your paper. Now here you can find it out from 1000 to 1000 journal. You can find it out which journal you are publishing. Every journal has different style of writing the reference. So you can choose your journal from anywhere, and from that you can find it out that yes, this will be the journal where I can produce or where I can publish my paper. So for that, the reference could be made by this tool. So let's say if I am looking for IEEE IoT journal or Internet of Things, IEEE Internet of Things. Let's say this is my journal, IEEE Internet of Things. Now I need to give the reference, right? So let's say my journal is there. Let's say I'll find it out. I want to find out the paper. Let's say I am looking for this article and want to reference this article in my paper. So I'll take the link of that paper. Yes, this is the paper I'm talking about. Now it will let you know that whatever is there is, you just review it. If you want to add something, you can add it and then save it. Once you are saving it, it is going to produce the reference in that general style. So this is the style of that particular journal. Getting it what I'm saying? So in that way, it is going to create the reference. Now you can add up more references if you want. So add citation. Again, if you have the journal in mind, just go to and find out another journal which you are thinking that you want to add here. Let's say this is the link for it is. Now let's search it and save it. Now it is again, right? Now you can make a copy and paste. Simple. Make a copy and paste with in your what in your paper where you want to make a reference. So in that way, see, writing all those things, what will happen is sometime we'll get error and sometime will not going to give to the same way what the general are expecting to us. So sometime our technical detail will be good, but we'll get the review comments from the references. It happens most of the time. But this tool will make your work very easy and systematic. So this is my bib. Okay, so writing and collaboration tool, you can always use some of the tools like if you are preparing your paper with Word, you can use Google Doc by which you can share your work with fellow authors. You can always use, if you are using LaTeX, you can use Overleaf. With the Overleaf also, so all are cloud-based, as I told you. Okay. Overleaf will help you to share your work with the fellow author. And you can use any of these like cloud-based object storage area like Google One or Dropbox or Google Drive and all to share your work with fellow researchers. Right? That's all from my side related to the research and the number of tools which will help you on that. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a insightful session. And rather than insightful, it is a hands-on on this different tool on this research methodology, and research in development. Participant, if you have any kind of question or the queries with regards to particular this session, you can directly ask to Professor Sharma, sir. Please tell me. One question in the chat box, sir, is whatever maybe the tool you have provided here, are they freely available or not? Sir, you are muted, sir. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, so some of the functionality of those tools which I told you are free. Means whatever I have shown you, the functionality are free. But if you want to use more functionality of it, then you have to pay for it. So you need to subscribe. Yeah, any other question?
Yes, anyone has any questions? If there are no questions, then we can conclude this session because we have to move further for the next session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And all the very best to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. In spite of your busy schedule, you have shared your thought-provoking time and a session here on this very much important issue, that is the research and development and how we can integrate these technological tools in our research. So we are really thankful to you on behalf of organizers. I extend my sincere thanks for your gracious presence to this session. And with the kind consent of Dr. Sharma sir, I would like to declare that this particular session will be over here and we will continue for the next session. Thank you, Sharma sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Professor Atik sir.
Hello. Yes, yes. Ankit, I have joined.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
I,
So, if you could
I
permit,
hope.
start.
Yeah. I hope I am audible.
Yeah, sir. Very much clear, sir. Very much clear.
Thank you.
So, shall we start with the session, sir?
Yes, yes. Please, please.
So, good afternoon, one and all, once again. As I have earlier told you that the today's session has been split into the two different parts. First part we have completed with the help of Dr. Suresh Sharma sir, and now we are going towards the another part of that particular theme, that is the research and development. So you know that while we are publishing our research in any form, in the book form, chapter, or the patent, or publishing the scholarly articles in the different reputed journals, there are some ethics, and UGC has given some ethics, research ethics and publication that has been prescribed by the University Grants Commission. There will be one particular regulation on this, that is the academic integrity. While we are publishing whatever our research, that research should be academically integrated. So today we are going to discuss this particular important part, the research ethics in the publication, with the help of one renowned senior expert, Professor Atik sir. Sir, I extend my warm welcome to you to this flagship program. Friends,
Thank you.
I think everyone knows Professor Atik sir very well in the field of this Faculty of Science and Technology, particularly in computer science and engineering. Sir is the, at present serving as a professor and the head at the Department of Computer Science and Faculty of Engineering at Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati. He is the director of this Maldiv Mission Teacher Training Center, and under his able guidance, not only this particular program, we are running and numerous programs that has been ranged from the from the professor and the senior professor to the research scholar to train the faculty members and aware and sensitize them towards the adoption of this national education policy. Friends, I will not take much more time. I will not introduce sir briefly. This is a brief introduction with regards to Professor Atik sir. We will directly start with this session. So, sir, I will extend my warm welcome to you and request you to start with your session. Sir, please.
Thank you very much, first of all, and very good evening to one and all present in this session. I hope I am loud and clear, right? But you allow me to uh, switch off my camera because there are some issues. I am getting some fluctuations in the connectivity. I'll try, but let us see whether it works or not. Right. So, as Ankit has rightly pointed out, that we are going through, you can say, a phase wherein there are a lot of expectation from the teachers. Okay, teaching is essentially needed, but at the same time, apart from teaching, Okay, whether you work in a government organization or whether you work in a private institute or a autonomous institute, okay, the expectations from the management or the authorities are much more than teaching, right? So research is one of them. Research is one of the, I should say, the integral part of teaching. And many times whenever we describe our profession, okay, in the duties and responsibility, we write teaching and research. So they go hand in hand, what I intend to say. And as I said that in the, particularly if you look at the NEP 2020 prospective, okay, you will find that there are a lot of expectations. So it is one of the integral part of NEP 2020 policy laid down by the government of India, and which is adopted all across the nation. And particularly Maharashtra, we are taking it as in the form of a mission. Okay, and that's why we are all here, right? So I'll not waste much of the time, and will directly start with the topic which has been assigned to me. Actually, as a matter of fact, this session was supposed to be engaged by Professor R.T. Bedre, but due to his some personal reasons, he is not in a position. That's why I'm here, right? But anyway, I will not disappoint you. Okay, we'll just try to have a look at this important aspect in a greater detail. Okay, I would love to interact. I don't know how many of you are there. Around 62, 63 participants are there, but uh, I would like to rather, I'll be sharing my experiences at the same time. As I said, that is, I would love to interact with you, right? So, because if you look at the NEP 2020 policy and if you look at the objectives of this NEP orientation and sensitization program, right, it is aimed at discussing certain things, okay? And that is why most of the, you can say, the speakers, they must have spare some amount of time for the discussion and so on. So again, we can have, I very well know that you are all senior faculties, must have completed your PhD and whatnot, right? Maybe some postdoc fellows are again there, right? So your institution is one of the premier institution, undoubtedly, but at the same time, okay, we need to understand this particular part in a greater detail. That is, as a teacher, what are our responsibilities and in what way we can shoulder that responsibility. So with this little background, let me share my slides. Okay. So any one of you just confirm, okay, whether my slides are visible to you. Yeah. I hope my slides are visible to you.
Yes, sir, but just need it in slideshow mode.
Yeah. That is what I am doing. Hope you are enjoying all the sessions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I don't know what is happening. Okay, what I'll do again, I'll share it from scratch. Let's see whether it works. Ankit, whether you have given me. Ankit, are you there? Okay.
Can I try it for you, sir?
Yeah. So there we are. I hope my slides are visible and it's in presentation mode. Right?
No, sir, not in presentation mode. Your slides are visible, sir.
Still not in presentation mode.
No, sir, not yet.
Okay. I'll again stop and again try to share. I don't know what's the glitch.
No problem, sir. Anyhow, it is visible, sir.
Okay. But again, give me a try. Okay, I'll stop sharing now. Again, what I'll do, I will share the entire screen. Let us see whether it works or not.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, I hope it is in presentation mode. Let's hope. Otherwise,
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is in
we will.
presentation mode.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for the confirmation.
Yes, sir.
Probably Professor Joshi is speaking. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay. So this is what is there on the agenda. That is, we will just try to have a look at maybe in next 90 minutes or so. What is academic integrity and research, how it is to be treated when it comes to research and publication, right? Definitely our orientation would be the NEP 2020 prospective, because NEP has categorically mentioned this research and development as one of the integral part of the policy, right? So being a teacher, it is expected that we must take this particular thing little bit more seriously, right? So this is what is there on the agenda. That is, I will start with, we will spare some time on understanding what is the changing role of a teacher, okay, from NEP 2020 perspective. Okay, then we'll just try to have a look at overview of academic integrity, need of academic integrity, okay, why this issue has crop up as a serious issue in the recent past. That we'll just try to understand, and then we'll move ahead with certain other aspects like, say, duplicate publication, authorship and order. Who is the author and what should be the order of the, you can say, the authorship and so on. Apart from that, we'll just try to have a look at uh, what are various scientific misconduct. Okay, many times we do it intentionally, unintentionally, and so on. Okay, and at the end, we'll just try to sum up with uh, a burning topic, rather a hot topic nowadays when it comes to research, is the conflict of interest. That is COI. Okay, and at the end, we will explore some of the organizations. These organizations are basically non-profit voluntary organizations who are working in this domain, that is publication ethics and so on. So their role, okay, and various aspects of all those organizations, how do they function, those things which we are going to have a look at in a greater detail, right? So having said it, these are the learning objectives, right? Let us try to move ahead with the very first point, which is nothing but the changing role of a teacher. I very well remember I started my career way back in 1990. So passed out from GCU Amravati, and the very next day I started delivering sessions, right? So those days, the only responsibility expected from a teacher was teaching only. That is how best you can teach. Okay. Apart from teaching, no other expectations were there. But having spent around 3.5 decades in, you can say, the uh, various capacities in different organizations, maybe at government engineering, government polytechnic, and now I'm working at university. I realized that the role of a teacher has drastically changed. And the expectations are again much more than teaching, right? So teaching is undoubtedly it is there. Okay, it has to be there, and it is very much there as on date. But apart from that, as I was saying, that is when we started our career in teaching, there was nothing like research and development expected from a teacher, right? Then gradually what has happened, R&D and then consultancy again, that is due to the, you can say, the impact of the loan the government has taken from the World Bank, because I worked at Polytechnic and government engineerings, right? So this autonomy, as a matter of fact, it was awarded to these institutes on a pilot basis. They have started with government institutions, government polytechnic in particular, 1995, and then gradually in government engineering college, maybe around 4-5 years down the line, 2002 onwards, right? So what has happened, that is the role of a teacher has drastically changed. So apart from teaching, the other expectation from a teacher is that is he should be good at research and development. Okay, he must try to generate some consultancies. Okay, that is revenue generation, what they call it as IRG in short. Okay, so internal revenue generation. Okay, why this is so? Because the, let's say if COEP is a center of excellence, so government has pumped maybe around 2 or 10 crore rupees in a particular institutions. So they expect that whatever infrastructure they have built, whatever equipments they have procured, right, they should be utilized for the welfare of the masses. Okay, and by utilizing those equipment, if you can generate some money, there's nothing wrong in that. So the government is very, you can say, very clear, and is very much expected, because the utilization of those resources most of the time. Now if you look at for example, I'll share some experiences, okay, with you. Say for example, if you look at the e-subscription of journals, but when it comes to utilization of all those facilities in an institution, you will be surprised. So many times we have to take action, ask the faculty as well as the teachers to visit libraries and access all those resources and so on. So what I intend to say is, government is definitely putting a lot of money, a lot of funds, but at the same time, the results are not as per the expectation, right? So being a teacher, you need to change yourself. Okay, teaching is definitely, it is expected, but there are much more expectation, as you can see from this particular slide. That is, R&D is one of the parts. So today we'll just try to explore R&D in a greater detail. Okay, and we'll just try to understand whenever we do research. Okay, so what are the expectation with regard to, you can say, the ethics and so on, right? So if you look at the, you can say, the title of today's deliberation, I have kept it as academic integrity. So whenever we say that, we will just try to understand what academic integrity in general is all about, because if you simply put academic in front of it, definitely, okay, it will have the context will change. But academic in general, it is very much there. If you look at your performance appraisal pro forma, you will find that academic integrity is one of the important column. Sorry, integrity is one of them. So what integrity is all about, I would love to hear from your end, and then we will start the deliberation. So what is your perception about integrity in general? Yeah, any one of you? I'll just try to switch on my camera so that we can have some fruitful discussion. So I hope I am loud and clear and you can hear me. Okay, so any one of you, if you can unmute yourself, and I would love to hear. Definitely I'll deliver. Okay, so as a matter of fact, repeatedly I'm telling you that this is a forum. This is not a conventional sort of a training program wherein the, you can say, it is expected that we must have some discussion on some aspects. Okay, and that's why I'm posing this question. There's no other reason for that. So what is your perception about integrity? Any one of you? I hope I am loud and clear. Whether we are connected, first of all, Joshi sir, you were actively involved in the, hello? Yeah, or anybody who wish to. And again, even I would love to hear. I can very well speak Marathi as well, so there is no issue, right? So what is your perception about integrity? Okay. So anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, integrity is nothing but the honesty, right? Honesty in carrying out anything, whatever has been assigned to you. Okay, so let's say if I am talking about academic integrity, it is nothing but the academic honesty. Okay, this is how it goes, right? In you can say the bookish definition and so on, right? So it is nothing but the academic honesty, right? How honest you are in performing your duties and so on, right? So we will just start with the very first aspect, as I have told you, that is now it is expected that being a teacher, you must produce some quality stuff in terms of research. Okay, so for research purposes, definitely one has to write. Okay, one has to write. So why do we write? We need to understand first of all. So there are various reasons, right, which I have jotted down here, right? We write for conveying the information. Now, you are all from engineering background, right? But irrespective of that, let's say even if you are from other discipline, maybe science or humanities, okay, every one of us, we write for some or the other reasons. So some of the, you can say, this is not again an exhaustive list, a very indicative list, okay, wherein I have jotted down certain reasons. That is, why do we write? We write for conveying the information. We write for expressing our thoughts, right? Many times we write for completing an assignment. Let's say you are undergoing this particular course, okay, and if your coordinator asks you, Dongre madam asks you to complete an assignment. So for that purpose, again, you have to write. Okay, when it comes to research, okay, we write for publication of our work. Okay, many times, okay, we write for fetching some grants from the funding agencies, various funding agencies, and so on. Many times we write for organizing our thoughts, okay, remembering our thoughts. Okay, there are people who used to write diaries, okay, wherein they used to write their daily activity, okay, just to remember. Okay, there are people like, say, historians. They write for maintaining the historical records and so on. So there are n number of reasons, okay, wherein it is expected that you should write. But to your surprise, the idea behind putting this particular slide as the very first one is: have you really undergone? Okay, you must have completed your BTech, Master, MTech, and PhD and so on, maybe postdoc and so on. Whether you have ever been taught that is how to write, right? So we haven't undergone any sort of you can say a formal course wherein we have been taught that is how to write, and that is the reason, okay, that is the only reason we commit mistake when it comes to writing. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that is, let's say, it is mandatory to have some stuff on you can say how to write a technical report, how to write a research paper, how to write a, you can say, a research proposal and so on, right? But unfortunately it is missing. But now this NEP 2020 talks about that we must treat this research as integral part. Okay, so you can accommodate something, maybe non-exam credit courses of the modalities you can decide as per your requirement, but it has to be there. That is my personal view, and this is what the NEP 2020 talks about. Right. Now we need to understand what is the need of academic integrity. Having said this, we will just try to have a look at you can say the 5 famous cases which I have taken up from the source. If you look at, you can say, almost in all my slides, you will find that the bottom line, you will find the source from where it has been taken up, right? And that is the best way of coming out from any, you can say, uh, problems, I should say. Okay, so what are the 5 famous cases? Now, if you look at the speech made by Melania Trump versus Michelle Obama, okay, she has made some, and she was accused of plagiarism. We will not go into the, you can say, the controversies, right? My intention is to simply uh, you can say emphasize why this academic integrity is so important and why we need to take up this particular issue a little bit more seriously, right? By only that objective. So please ignore whether, again, we will not indulge into the, as I said, the controversy is evolving, whether it was she was really accused of plagiarism or not, or the person under reference is accused of plagiarism, right? So Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, again, there was some controversy, right? Adrian Jacobs claims that she stole many of her ideas for Harry Potter. Okay, and you know how much popular this Harry Potter is, right? Then the Lord of Rings series by J.R.R. Tolkien versus Richard Engel. Okay, again, J.K. Rowling is not the only author of a successful and popular series to have been accused of plagiarism. Okay, so there are many cases. Just I have taken up 5, you can say, the popular cases or famous cases at international level. Okay, this is the fourth one, that is the game Pong created by Atari versus Magnavox. Okay, during 70s, what has happened? That is, the founders of Atari have been accused of plagiarism by Magnavox. Okay. Again, as I said, we will not dig them in greater detail. Then, if you look at the last one, that is Da Vinci Code, written by Dan Brown. Okay. So again, some controversy was there. Okay, with regard to compromising, you can say, the integrity, something like that. Right. Now, having said this, okay, we need to understand this is the international scenario, right? Now, if you just try to understand the national scenario, the picture is not, you can say, again, it is very similar to what we have seen at the international level, right? Again, I would like to, you can say, clarify here. We will not indulge into, because the names are really big. Okay, so whether he or she is really accused of plagiarism, that is none of our business. We are simply trying to understand why this is so important, and why it must be taken up seriously, right? So if you look at the national level, 5 plagiarized article on the Indian Foundation website, big names like M.J. Akbar and so on. Chemistry professor accused of plagiarism, more than 70 articles, Sri Venkateswara University. Okay, Kavya Vishwanathan was accused of plagiarism for her debut novel. Stanford University wrote to late President APJ Abdul Kalam about Professor Rajput's plagiarism. Okay, and so on. The last one is the plagiarism accusation, again, Dr. Gurunathan and his group. So what has happened? That is, during 2002, 2007 to 2011, in our country, we have reported highest plagiarism rate. And that has led to the government, as well as the various authorities, to take up this particular issue a little bit more serious. And that's why they have come up with, you can say, various rules and regulation in this regards. So we'll have a look at all those aspects again. Okay, so being a teacher or being a researcher, okay, we need to understand all those aspects. So that is what we are going to cover today. Okay, but before moving ahead, if you look at the topic itself, okay, we will be talking on ethics as well. Okay, we'll be talking on ethics as well. So what are ethics? Okay, that again one has to understand. Okay, so we will just try to understand this with the help of a pretty simple example. Okay, that is, let's say you are on a morning walk or a evening walk. So what do you do if you found some money lying on the street? Okay, now here, at least I would love to hear your responses. So I am giving you, let's say, 4 options. Okay, the option A is leave it as it is. B is pick it up and spend it. C is pick it up and give it to charity. And D is something else. Okay, again, the motto behind this is to simply understand the concept behind ethics and so on. So I would love to know your responses, okay, with regard to this. Okay, whether you will go ahead with A, B, C, or D, right? So you can unmute yourself, and I request any one of you. Okay, let me tell you frankly, there is nothing right or wrong as far as this is concerned, right? We'll just try to understand this. Any one of you would like to? Yes. Sorry, ma'am, who is speaking?
Something else?
Something else, yes, sir. Something else. Once again, Professor Joshi, if I am not wrong, or who was speaking?
Chandrasekhar Mahajan.
Mahajan, sir. Acha, sir. So you said something else. Okay, no issue. Any other answer? Anybody else who would like to go ahead with maybe other options available? I was expecting few more questions from your end. That is, again, we'll go ahead, no problem. With yeah. So something else, as Professor Chandrasekhar has pointed out, Chandrasekhar Mahajan sir has pointed out, that he will go ahead with something else. So probably he's thinking that since the money is not belong to you, definitely what you will do, you will something else. Again, you may have various possibilities, like you will find out the nearest police station, okay, wherein you will go and you will deposit that you found this money, and so on.
Yes, yes.
No, sir, because that is not your money. That's why. Okay, so very correct. No issue. Anybody else who want to come up with something else, or some different option? Nobody is saying that pick it up and spend it. I'll just try to make the things a little bit more complex, and we'll just try to understand what ethics is all about. Okay, that is the motto behind understanding this with the help of this example. So leave it as it is. Again, some of you may go ahead with that, is since the money is not yours. Okay, so there's no fun in picking it up. Okay, leave it as it is. Or pick it up and spend it is the bit difficult option but yeah, anybody else who wish to uh, pick a particular option other than the something else? Okay. So Mahajan sir, what I'll do, I'll make it little bit more complex. As a matter of fact, I was expecting that any one of you will ask, sir, what is the amount of that? So that will again another important parameter which will determine your, you can say, the ethical behavior. Let's say if it is a 500 note or a 200 note, okay, and let's say if it is a bag full of 500 notes, okay, comprising around 1 CR. So still, sir, you will go ahead with Mahajan sir, you will go ahead with something else. If it is 500 rupees, you will go ahead with something else. Or if it is a bag full of 1 crore or maybe 2 crore, whether you will still go ahead with the same option. Mahajan sir, I hope you are there.
No, no, no. In all cases, I'll go for something
Okay,
else.
great, sir. Okay, that is what I am trying to. Now I'll more make it little bit more complex. Let's say, uh, unfortunately, I'll say that you are hungry since last 2 3 days. Okay, and you are on a street. Okay, and nearby there are a lot of restaurants. Okay, now you've found some 200 rupees note. So what you will do in that case, Mahajan sir?
Still, I'll go for something else.
Okay, great. But let's say, if let's say, because I am making it little bit more complex, the situation is little completely hypothetical. Okay, the idea is simply to understand what ethical behavior is all about. Okay, let's say if it is you are hungry since last instead of 2 days, I'll say that instead of 8 days, okay, you are hungry and you found 200 rupees note. So even if you pick up that 200 rupees note and have your, so nothing will come to your mind, whether, because 8 days you are hungry. Okay, so it may happen. I'm simply exploring the
Likely, I
possibility.
may spend it also.
Yes, ठीक sir. So what you will do, you will pick it up and have your lunch, dinner, or maybe
Instead,
breakfast.
instead, I'll announce
Yes, sir.
that I found some note of 200 rupees.
Great,
I'll put
great,
a
sir.
board there also.
Okay,
I'll note down some number and I'll say that, please describe me.
okay, okay. But what I'm trying to emphasize is that is, let's say if you are hungry, and let's say that money belongs to me. I was just in front of you and you were just behind me. So what has happened that by mistake, or I was taking out something from my pocket, so that money, okay, uh, dropped over there. And what has happened? You picked it up, and then you had your any one of you, or the person who's finding that money, is picking it up, and he's having his lunch or dinner, because he is not having now situation is as a matter of fact very tense and complex, right? Because he's not having lunch or dinner or a single bite since last 8 days. So even if he or she picks up that money, okay, and have lunch, dinner, or breakfast, nobody will mind. Even the owner of that money won't mind. Okay, when he knows that something like this has happened, right? So what I'm trying to emphasize here is your ethical behavior is not determined only on one parameter, right? It, your ethical behavior, it can be determined on n number of parameters. What are those parameters? We'll just try to have a look at. See, the very first one is the individual involved. As I think the professor was continuously saying, that is how he or she has grown up, what kind of value system, or you can say the moral system he or she, what kind of bringing up, I should say, okay, that has taken place. What we used to call it as, you can say, the environment within which you have grown up. Okay, so the individual, then the circumstances. As I was talking about, nobody is by birth is a criminal. Okay, but the circumstances, based on this theme, you have a lot of you can say the Hindi movies. Okay, so the circumstances compel you to commit some mistake or crime, I should say. Then the moral intensity with the situation. So these are the three parameters which will determine your ethical behavior, right? Undoubtedly, the very first one is how your grooming up takes place, right? So that is, there are people I have seen, okay, they never ever compromise when it comes to certain things. Okay, they will categorically say, whether they are talking with the you can say the honorable vice chancellor or anybody else. Okay, they will have their opinion and they will say, well, no sir, this is not possible, right? So what I'm trying to say is the individual involved, the circumstances, and the moral intensity with the situation, right? Moral intensity with the situation. Now, having said this, okay, if you want to understand this in a greater detail, much greater detail, we need to understand the underlying theories behind this ethical behavior. So as a matter of fact, there are two theories when it comes to human behavior. Okay, and these theories are basically, we are using it some way or the other. Okay, see, the very first theory, what is it? It's called as the
Sorry,
theory of
Professor
absolutism. Yes sir,
Mohammed
Mahajan sir.
Atik.
Yes sir.
I had an issue. Sorry, there was a
Yeah,
network
please.
issue of mine. So I
Okay.
said clearly that I may spend it, but I'll
uh,
make an notice
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've got your answer, sir. I've got your answer, but nobody else is responding. That's why I'm moving ahead, right? So whatever you said is 100% correct. Okay. And let's say if the real owner of that money visit that place and somebody told
That
him
will
कि,
be
"Bhai,
known
that
on me.
yeah." Okay, but what will happen? What I'm trying to say is, even the owner will accept it. That, well, since you were hungry, okay, no issue. Okay, you spend it, all right. That is what I'm trying to say,
Thank you.
right? Yeah. So if you want to understand this ethical behavior in little bit greater detail, we need to understand two theories. One theory is what they called as the theory of absolutism, and the another theory is what they call it as the theory of relativism. Now we'll just try to explore this in little bit more detail. Okay, what absolutism talks about: one set of rule and rules common to all, right? Whether you are an ordinary citizen, or you are a king, or you are a prime minister, or you are a governor, or whatnot, right? You have to follow it, right? You will be given equal treatment, right? Rules unlikely to change. Okay, absolutism theory I'm talking about. And when you follow this, you, what they call it as, let's say if you are a follower of absolutism theory, okay, you will be categorized as a dogmatic person, right? We'll just try to explore that in a much more detail. Okay, what dogmatism and pragmatism is all about. And this theory basically is based on when we believe that the absolute truth exists. Okay, on the other hand, okay, we are all from science and technology background. Okay, most of us, we follow the theory of relativism. Now what is it? It is many acceptable set of rules. Rules can change over time. There is no one single rule which will say, for example, some theory somebody has proved by means of some research that XYZ is the uh, you can say the only way of achieving this. But somebody, after maybe 5 years down the line, what happens? Somebody else, some other researchers, he tried to prove that, well, whatever this person X has said, it is absolutely rubbish and wrong. Now this is what I am trying to. So you have rules, ever changing rules. What I intend to say. So rules can change over time, and if you follow relativism theory, okay, you are someone who you may call it as a pragmatic person. Okay, pragmatism is nothing but the, you can say, the something like practical approach of solving any problem. And this theory, relativism theory, it relies on that there is no absolute truth. Okay, things, something which is true as on date 2025, 28th of April. Okay, maybe 5 year down the line, what will happen? Somebody else will prove that that theory is absolutely rubbish and it is wrong, right? So there is no absolute truth, right? So these are the two theories which will determine your ethical behavior. Now, let's say arguing with a dogmatic person is useless. Okay, because dogmatic person will always say that he is always right and the other fellow is always wrong. There are people, if you look around, you will find that there are people of this sort once again. So what is the best solution to deal with these kind of people? Well, you can simply say, well, sir, all right, sir, you are right, I am wrong. Because there is no fun in arguing with a dogmatic person, because he is having that kind of mindset. Okay, he will always, even though if he, many times they understand that they are wrong, but still they try to prove that they are right. Okay, and the other person is wrong, right? So dogmatism is all that, right? But relativism, okay, the people following relativism theory, as Mahajan sir has said, right? So they will adopt some practical approach, right? They will adopt some practical approach. So most of the, you can say, you can say the scientific theories, they use the theory of relativism, right? So absolutism is applicable in some cases, but not in all. I would love to hear your experiences where you will find that you will not compromise. You are dogmatic. We are all dogmatic in some context. Say, for example, can you cite some real life example that we are all dogmatic up to some extent? Okay, including myself or anybody else, right? When it comes to your religious belief, okay, when it comes to your whatever religion you are following, right? If you are because religious belief, you will never argue why this is so, right? Because you believe that that is the only absolute truth which exists. Okay. So there are no compromises, right? So whenever it comes to religious belief, we are all dogmatic or we follow the theory of absolutism. Okay. And say, for example, one set of moral rules and rules common to all. The same code of conduct will apply to whether you are a king or you are an ordinary citizen. But relativism theory is altogether different, right? So we are all dogmatic when it comes to your, you can say, the religious belief and so on, right? So why do, let's move ahead. I hope we have understood this, but at the same time, okay, one more aspect which is very important to understand. Many times we says we talk about ethics and we put a slash. Many times we put a slash ethics oblique morals oblique what should I say, value. So what do you think, whether they are same or they are different? They are all synonymous terms. Any one of you would like to comment? Actually, there is a thin demarcation line. They are not completely same. For example, if you would like to know ethics, ethics is what? It is a systematic study of right or wrong. What is it? It is a systematic study of right or wrong, right? It involves reasoning, evaluating, and creating principles that guide decision in different situations. Okay. So, and that's why the regulating agencies like, say, UGC, AICT, they come up with some, you can say, after brainstorming, definitely, okay, even involving all the stakeholders, okay, whenever they want to modify certain rules. For example, recently you must have heard about that UGC is coming up with some changes when it comes to recruitment of assistant professor, associate professor, and even vice chancellors. So earlier there was a condition, that is, for becoming a vice chancellor, you have to have maybe 10 years of professor's experience. Now that is again being scrapped. Okay, because UGC feel that, well, this is not essentially needed, right? So with respect to time, you need to change yourself, what I intend to say. But morals are personal beliefs, okay, about what is right and wrong. So it is, as a matter of fact, your personal compass, morals. Okay, so what I intend to say is, ethics is a philosophical discipline that examines moral beliefs and provide framework for decision making, what is right or what is wrong. I hope that will clear the concept, right? So there is a thin what I intend to say is, there is a thin demarcation line between ethics and moral. Okay, so ethics will not change and common for all. Okay, ethics will never ever change, whereas your morals are more personal and can vary from person to person. Okay, and that's why I said, whatever example I have cited, okay, so there is no option is right or wrong, right? So it all depends, right? It all depends on the various circumstances, and there are very many things what I intend to say. So another, you can say, the difference between ethics and moral is, ethics are objectives, okay, whereas moral is subjective. Okay, whereas moral is subjective. Again, we can understand this with the help of a, you can say, pretty simple example. That is, let's say honesty is essential in business transactions. Okay, but maybe if you are lying, okay, lying, nobody will accept it as good. But lying is again acceptable in certain situation, if it is for the benefits of the society at large, or maybe for your relatives, or maybe your sister, daughter, and so on, right? So many times, even if you are lying, but it is, what is the motive? Let's say if the intention is good, again people will accept it. So ethics is formalized, okay, morals are internalized, okay, because it is your, as I said, it is your personal compass and so on. So I hope that ethics and moral, and there is one more term we normally toss, is the value. So value is a superset, I should say, right? Value is a superset. So on the bottom you have ethics, then the next layer is your morals, and the third layer is what they call it as the value. Okay, third layer is what they call it as the value. So I hope with this much understanding, okay, we must move ahead with what ethics is all about and so on, right? But when it comes to now, we'll just try to link the concept. We have little bit deviated. Okay, now we'll just try to link this with the help of with exactly the topic which we are trying to discuss today, is that is, why do ethics issues arise in publication? Now there are reasons to it. Okay, there are reasons to it. I very well remember when I got the very first appointment in 1993, 92, 93. What was the criteria? The criteria was pretty simple. That is, you must be a first class BE BTech in the respective discipline. That was the only criteria, eligibility criteria I'm talking. Rest others are other things. You can say the desirable qualification, but the essential qualification was be taken in your respective discipline with first class. That was enough. Okay, so I was complying to that criteria. I applied, got selected, and joined my job, right, through MPSC and so on. But over a period of time, what has happened? There were no PhDs those days, I tell you, right? I still remember, that is, for even becoming a principal, you need not have to have a PhD. Okay, even masters was not required. I have seen principals under whom I have worked. They were all, I'm not saying that they were all great persons, but they were plain B those days. And that's why nobody used to rush after PhD and, you can say, the research and so on. But what has happened? Now, since we have enhanced the qualification from BE, BTech to even ME, MTech, and for certain positions like say associate professor and professor, it is not merely the PhD, but apart from PhD, you have to have some plus plus plus. Okay, if you want to be a senior professor, again the criteria is stringent and so on. So what is happening, since we are linking it with our bread and butter, and that's why the people, even though let's say I'm not having a, you can say, research mindset, but I'm compelled to write. Okay. So compelled to write. Okay. And these are the reasons, that is enhance seniority and promotion. So if you want to be a associate professor, you have to have a PhD. Along with PhD, maybe 6 Scopus Index or 8 Scopus Index publication with so much impact factor and whatnot. Right. So everybody is now after publications, right? So again, there are other reasons. You can say the commercial reasons are there, that is like say publishers profit, companies profit, and so on, right? So those are the, you can say, the commercial aspects. But when it comes to teaching our profession, okay, we are rather forced to write, and that's why we commit certain mistakes, right? We compromise, you can say, ethics. I'm not saying that it is true, but many times we compromise certain things. Now, let us try to understand what our regulating agency, like say UGC or AICT, talks about academic integrity. So they have categorically, they have come up with a beautiful document, as I was talking about, that the since we have reported 7 to 11 highest plagiarism rate in India, okay, and that's why UGC has taken up these issues very seriously. They have come up with a, you can say, a notification wherein they have categorically defined what integrity is all about, right? Earlier, there was no document, okay, wherein they were talking about integrity and so on. So they have categorically, what they say is, I'm referring to 23rd July 2018 notification by, you can say, UGC, wherein they have defined academic integrity is the intellectual honesty. You remember integrity, I was talking about the honesty, right? It is the intellectual honesty, because it is academic in what, proposing, performing, and reporting any activity, okay, which leads to the creation of intellectual property. Now, under intellectual property, you have very many things, like say it is not merely papers, but it is papers. Then you can say it is, you can say it is copyrights, maybe your patents, design patent, okay, and whatnot, right? So this is how it has been defined. So whatever you do, it is not only you must be honest in proposing, performing, and reporting. Now, if you look at, once again, if you look at the scenario, okay, somebody is having say around 20 or 40 odd patents. When it comes to, you can say, the grant of those patents, again the numbers are very less. Okay, let's say if it is granted, okay, what about you can say commercialization in the form of a product? Okay. So things are changing, and now UGC is again thinking. I recently came to know that they are trying to scrap this. Rather, they have already scrapped this criteria for publication when it comes to PhD, because they realize that we are not moving in the right direction, right? So it is a continuous process. What I intend to say. Let's move ahead with the topic, that is, why do we compromise integrity? Okay, either you publish or perish. Okay, it is linked with your promotion selection, as I have already pointed out, many times becoming famous. Okay, and in certain countries like China, okay, they have some monetary rewards associated with it. Okay, for example, if you publish a Scopus Index quality paper, okay, the authors may get some seed money for that. Okay. So it is a bread and butter for few people, right? So monetary rewards are again there. So publish or perish, linked with promotion, becoming famous in your area, maybe for, you can say, the monetary rewards, right? And so on. Now, how do we compromise? That is, again, one has to understand. There are many things, but I'll be going little fast. Okay, duplicate publication. That is republishing the same finding. Okay, okay, again and again, because again, if you look at the API formats, okay, there are marks for every publication. Okay, so everywhere you have to have, you can say, maybe now you are short of ideas. Okay, there are you can say compulsions of NBA, NAC, other responsibilities are again there, and it is expected that you must contribute to research. So submitting the same manuscript to two or more journals at once, okay, many times, and that's why most of the time they ask you whether the same article you are trying to submit, whether it is under consideration somewhere else, yes or no. Okay, we are many times we are very casual. Okay, and then dividing one research paper into many little papers, what they call it as salami slicing, because we do not have sufficient number of ideas. So what do? We divide one single paper. In one paper we go ahead with you can say the literature review, second paper we go ahead with what the block schematic, and third one we report results. Okay, and if you put all these papers uh, in a single go, rather if you go through them, okay, you'll find that the idea remains same, right? And that is again, you can say, that is again considered as duplicate publication, which is again a serious offense, right? The another important aspect is the authorship order. Okay, now who is the author? Who should be the author? Right? Again, I'm referring to the same document by UGC. Okay, or maybe for this purpose, I have referred to this ICMG. Okay, I'll come to that ICMG and so on. So, author includes what? It is a student or a faculty or a researcher or staff of HEIs who claims to be the creator of work under consideration. Now, what do we understand by creator? Okay, you have to have substantial contributions to the conception and design of a paper. If you are not contributing substantially, you should not claim to be an author, right? Or acquisition of data or analysis and interpretation of data. So some way or the other, if you are not contributing, okay, you should not claim just by means of the position you are enjoying. Okay, if you want to have your name as the author, that is not correct, ethically not correct, right? You are compromising integrity. Drafting article or revising it critically for important intellectual content and final approval of the version to be published, right? This is what is again has been defined by UGC and ICMG and so on, right? So again, the second question is, let's say, so the primary concern in case of authorship is you must substantially contribute to the paper. If it is not so, definitely you are compromising your, you can say, the integrity. Okay, you are compromising your integrity. The second is the authorship order. Okay, so discuss the order of the authorship at the beginning. Okay, many times you have to mention, you can revise it in between, okay, if needed. All authors take the responsibility. Now, this is important to understand. Let's say there are 6 authors, and if I am the 6th one, okay, that doesn't mean that if something goes wrong, I'll get 1/6 of the penalty. It is not at all, right? When you get the credit for the paper, okay, definitely if something, you have to owe the responsibility if something goes wrong. That is, if you have been found guilty of plagiarism and so on. Okay, so whatever is the penalty, you have to accept it as an author. So it is equal, what I intend to say. So disclose if any third party is involved in the writing. Now, there are people available, there are even consulting firm. You can very well take their help. But if you are doing so, okay, you have to specifically mention that for such and such purpose, maybe for formatting your paper, maybe for, you can say, the grammar check or whatever, right? So whatever is their role, you have to, if you are taking some help, okay, you have to categorically mention. Okay, so that is again needed when it comes to authorship order. Scientific misconduct. Okay, there are two categories. One is the fabrication, second is the falsification. What is fabrication? Making up data or result and reporting them. Or many times we used to call it as cooking up data. Okay, the results are X, you are reporting Y result. Okay, so as to get it published. Okay, that is again wrong. You are compromising, that comes under scientific misconduct. Falsification, that is manipulating research material. You are calibrating equipment in such a way to get the desired result, whatever you intend to, right? Or changing or omitting data or results with the intent to change the outcome. This is again very common. That is, we report only positive aspects. Okay, let's say 3 parameter we are getting delta improvement, but and the other 2 parameters are deteriorating. So what do? Normally we report these 3 and we ignore the rest of the 2. That is again, that comes under scientific misconduct. So it is expected that you should be honest in doing all those activities. If you are not doing so, definitely you are uh, co- committing what they call it as the scientific misconduct. The third or the last one is the what they call it as the plagiarism. Okay, when somebody presents works of another person's ideas, process, results, or words as if they were his oblique her own without proper acknowledgement, that is again dangerous, right? So plagiarism is again very you can say very common phenomena. Now there are tools available. Okay, Professor Sharma, Suraj Sharma must have talked about certain tools on plagiarism as well, right? So uh, so, so you can take help of all those tools, and it is mandated by most of the universities that is your similarity index has to be below a threshold limit, maybe 10% or something like that, as per the guidelines issued by the UGC. Okay, there are ways and means, but what I am trying to say is it is very dangerous, right? It is very dangerous, and again there are four distinct types based on the definition itself. You can derive that there are four distinct types, because if you look at the definition you can very well understand that it is person's ideas, process, results, or word, right? So the word is the most common one, but four distinct types. The very first one is the idea. Plagiarism of ideas occurs when one fails to acknowledge the origin of a thought. Now, so the best way is to coming out of this plagiarism is you need to acknowledge, you need to cite. Okay, sources. I am referring X paper. What I am doing, when it comes to reference section, I am putting some Y. So I'm misleading the readers. Authorship. Plagiarism of authorship occurs when one claims authorship of an entire. Now, what is the criteria of authorship is what we have already seen. That is substantial contribution. So you must contribute substantially, right? Words prior to, that is verbatim, which is very common. Okay, this happens in UG or you can say the PG level, word for word. Okay, but again now there are checks and balances. So UGC is very serious about all these aspects. So they have come up with some stringent guidelines. Okay, we'll have a look at all those guidelines in the slides to come. So again, there is one important aspect of plagiarism is what they call it as self-plagiarism. Okay, that is, I am referring to my own paper. Okay, so it is little bit debatable, I should say. Most of the people feel that, let's say, if you have published 4, 5, or 10 odd publication, and based on that, you are submitting your thesis. So as a matter of fact, some people feel that it is okay, but there are people who will say that you have to write thesis in completely altogether different way, right? Because you have already got credentials for those papers, whatever you have published. So the only way to come out of this is to submit your thesis first and then go for the. And that is what now UGC is talking about. Now they have removed that criteria of, you can say, the publication and so on. Self-plagiarism, breaking up larger study into smaller sections. Okay, paraphrasing of one's own previously published work without due and full citation. So everywhere, let's say if you do this particular activity, that is, if you give due and full citation, you can very well come out of that plagiarism case, right? So this is again, we need to understand, we need to take this little bit more seriously, self-plagiarism, right? There are again two more categories, what they call it as unintentional and intentional plagiarism. So we'll have a cursory look at these two. That is paraphrasing poorly, changing the sentence structure but not the words, or changing few words without changing the structure. Okay, now there are tools available, so I'll not go in that way, but this for paraphrasing purpose, again there are tools available. Quoting poorly, putting quotation marks around a passage that is partly paraphrased and partly quoted. So if you put anything in double quotation marks, that will not be considered, right? Let's say if you want to copy some definition and you know that there is no best way of defining that particular aspect, that is the only way, that is what you can very well do. That you can copy entire stuff, maybe 5-line or 10-line document, but you need to put it in double quotation marks and you have to properly cite it. Okay, so citing poorly, that is omitting an occasional citation or citing inaccurately. Okay, so that is again, you can say a little bit, you can say is one of the worst scenario, right? So this happens. Okay, this happens many times. Okay, again it creates a problem. Okay, unintentional plagiarism. Intentional is much dangerous than what is unintentional. Is passing off one's own pre-written papers from the internet or other sources. What I'm doing, I'm taking somebody else's paper, I'm putting my name. This is very rare nowadays. Earlier it was very common, maybe 10 years down the line when there were no tools. Okay, these issues were very common. But and this is again categorized by UGC only. Copying an essay from the internet or online sources, or cutting and pasting from more than two sources, 2 or 3 papers you are mixing up, okay, and preparing a khichdi out of it. Okay, that is again, you can say intentional plagiarism, and there are penalties for it. So, what are the penalties for this? Again, we will have a look at all those aspects, maybe 5-10 minutes. But what is excluded from plagiarism? Okay, exclusion from plagiarism is all quoted work, and that's why whenever you go for a plag check, they ask you to remove the references, bibliography, table of content, preface. That is not considered as a part of the work. All generic terms, okay, laws, standard symbols, and standard equation, that is again considered as, again, it is excluded from plagiarism. Okay, common language or coincidental terms. Okay, up to 14 character, but there is a limit. Okay, not more than 14 character. If it is, let's say, more than 14 characters, it will be considered as flag. But if it is less than 14, then it is acceptable. Common languages means well-established facts. Okay, quote, figure, or information that is known to most of the people. Okay, so this is typically excluded from plagiarism. Okay, then this is, as a researcher or as a teacher, we have to go through these aspects a little bit more seriously. Okay, many times why we are publishing just to get the increments or the promotion and so on. But let's say if you are in the, you can say, the other way around, what happens is, now UGC talks about this, you can say, the penalties when it comes to submission of thesis and dissertation, level 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, what is that level 0? Similarity index is up to 10%, no penalties. Okay, it is acceptable, maybe 10, up to 10, meaning thereby 10 inclusive, 0 to 10. Okay, but level 1, let's say if the similarity index is 10 to 40%, what is the penalty? Okay, this I'll just read it out for the sake of information. Such student shall be asked to submit, I'm talking with respect to these students, researchers, right? Submit a revised script within a stipulated time period not exceeding 6 months. Okay, 6 months is the highest time limit. Level 2, that is 40 to 60, such student shall be debarred from submitting a revised script for a period of 1 year. So 1 year, he or she will not be allowed to submit the thesis or the dissertation, whatever. Right. Level 3, that is similarities above 60%, such students' registration for that program shall be cancelled. Okay, now this is very harsh, right? So it may happen, okay, let's say if you are a researcher, okay, so you may be penalized in any one of, let's say if you are found guilty, okay, it is not, if it is up to 10%, no problem. But beyond that, you have now, if you are a supervisor, okay, now we are all teachers, right? This is important for us, right? Level 0, similarities up to 10%, minor similarities, no penalty, but 10 to 40% shall be asked to withdraw the script. See, withdrawing the script, and there are journals wherein they retract your paper and they will ask you to give an apology in writing, and some of them they even publish that apology in their journal, right? So it is very embarrassing, I tell you, right? So similarities 40 to 60% shall be asked to withdraw the script, shall be denied right to one annual increment, shall not be allowed to be a supervisor to any new masters, PhD for a period of 2 years. Now here the locking period is 2 years. Okay, if it is between 40 to 60. Okay, why you are writing? You are writing for getting promoted, for getting increments. Now look at the level 3. Okay, similarity above 60% shall be asked to withdraw the script. Okay, shall be denied right to 2 advance increments. And there are cases, I tell you. I don't know whether you are aware, but I'll not name them. But there are cases wherein the certain universities, they have really taken up this issue very seriously, and they have even withhold the increments of the faculty members. Shall not be allowed to be a supervisor to any new master's, MPhil or PhD student for a period of 3 years. Okay, for a period of 3 years. So see, look at the penalty, right? For 3 years, you will not be allowed to do any kind of you can say supervisorship and so on. So the penalties are really harsh. That's why I'm saying that they are taking it, UGC in particular, they are taking it very seriously, and it may lead to very difficult situations. Right. Now, having said this, okay, now we are left with only two topics. Okay, what is it? The last but one, if you remember, okay, what I have told you, that is, we will just try to have a look at a burning topic nowadays is what they call it as the conflict of interest. Okay, so COI, it is a phenomena, right, wherein you can say it exists when there is a divergence between an individual's private interest, competing interest, and his or her responsibilities to scientific and publishing activities, such that a reasonable observer might wonder if the individual's behavior or judgment was motivated by consideration of his or her competing interest. I've intentionally read it out. The idea behind this is, what this CUI is all about is, let's say you are a professor in some organization, and at the same time you are you can say a managing editor of a journal, or let's say if your student is a managing editor of a XYZ publishing house. Okay, what you are doing, you are using your relationship. Okay, now not that relationship again they have categorically defined. Maybe if it is, you can say not necessarily he or she is your blood relation, maybe a student, or you may be having some political linkage and whatever. So if you are exploiting that relationship and getting your work published, managing the publication process or the review process, okay, you can be held responsible under the COI category, right? So just like we have a copyright form, on the similar line, we have a conflict of interest form, wherein you need to categorically specify, let's say if you enjoy some relationship with the publishing house, okay, whatever, let's say they have a set of questions which they will ask, okay, and there, let's suppose, if you do not mention, rather if you are lying, okay, in some aspect, and later on it is being noticed by means of sub complaint, okay, so again you will be in trouble. Okay, you will be in trouble, you have to face consequences, what I intend to say. So again, just like we have different types of plagiarism, we have got various types of conflict of interest. So normally they give you you can say a COI form, which is just like a copyright form, wherein they ask you certain questions, okay, with regard to, you can say, the financial ties you are having, maybe academic commitments you are having, or if you are having any personal relationship, or maybe a political or religious belief, or institutional affiliation, right? So all these things are, you can say, categorically mentioned in that COI form, and they ask you some open-ended question. Let's say, for example, if your some financial ties are there, yes or no. If you say yes, okay, they will ask you to specify the details. Okay, so but let's say if you hide this information, and later on if it is found that you were involved in some kind of conflict of interest, this is happening in you can say in particularly medical research. Okay, because there, as a matter of fact, there is real type of research which takes place. Okay, wherein, okay, you are playing with the lives and so on, right? So again, there is a, you can say, there are issues, okay, when it comes to financial ties and so on. So you have to disclose it. But if you do not do so, okay, and later on if it is observed, somebody make a complaint against you, okay, and it is found that you are guilty, okay, then the penalties are very harsh. Okay, and the different journals have different ways and means to handle with this COI, and this is normally, it is to be declared in the beginning. So during the publication process, just like copyright form, you need to declare this COI form in the beginning. So wherein you will have to answer what is to be declared and to whom. Normally it is to the managing editor. There is a format for declaration and journal's role in asking additional questions. So they may ask you some additional questions. Okay, let's say you have submitted the pre-printed COI form, and then if they are not satisfied with the answers you have made, okay, they may ask you on certain aspects more details. So consequences for failing to disclose before or after publication. Let's say before publication, if you declare everything is in the right way, then no problem. But let's say if it is after publication, you may have to retract your paper. Okay, retraction, maybe some written apologies, and you may be, you can say, even debarred for any sort of publication in that particular journal. So, for a specified period of time, that all depends upon the policies of various, you can say, the agencies working in that area, right? So, how to manage it? Normally, all these, let's say, for example, have jot down here for this WAME. They have a clear statement on how the conflict of interest will be managed by the journal. Okay, we have wherein they have a very, you can say, crystal clear policy, that is how to deal with COI cases. Okay, and so on. Right now, having said this, we are moving ahead with the last topic. Okay, which I have mentioned in my, you can say, the in today's agenda. Okay, so we are just on the last topic. We'll be having a look at what are the various organizations. Okay, they are all non-profit voluntary organizations working in this area. That is, the very first one is what they call it as the Committee on Publication Ethics, or in short, it is known as COPE. Okay, so it was established in 1997. UK started with only 3 members. Okay, when it started, only 3 members were there. 2003, 90 members, 6 to 9, 3,000 plus members, now more than 12,500 plus members, and it is increasing. Okay, what is their tagline? If you look at the tagline itself, you can understand their objectives. That is promoting integrity in scholarly research and its publication. So they have beautiful 18 flowcharts for handling various issues. Okay, so you can explore this in a greater detail. Okay, the URL I have mentioned over there, that is publicationethics.org. So this is the very, you can say, the very fundamental organization which is working in this area, that is Committee on Publication Ethics, right? COPE, right? So wherein they have categorically defined what are the responsibilities of the editor, what are the responsibilities of the reviewer, and so on and so forth, right? So editor should be responsible for everything published in their journals. Okay, they cannot say that, well, this is by mistake it has happened, right? Nothing like that. Strive to meet the needs of readers and authors, okay, and maintain standards and whatnot, right? Then you have various, you can say, the links over there which you can explore, that is allegation of misconduct, how it is to be dealt with, authorship and contributorship, complaints and appeals. Okay, so you may approach them if you found something wrong with regard to your own publication. You may approach them. Okay, they have a well defined procedure. Okay, they will set up an inquiry, and then you will be informed about the decision whatever has happened. The another important organization is the WAME. Okay, it was established in 1995. Okay, it is again a global non-profit. These all organizations are non-profit organizations, to be very frank. In this case, WAME, they have got 1900 plus members. Okay, again, WAME.org. This is with regard to, you can say, medical editors. Okay, medical editors. Then you have, you can say, again, there are lot many things, lot of stuff which you can explore it at your end. Okay, if you are from this discipline. Then let's say, again, how the conflict of interest is to be dealt with. Okay, that is again there. Okay, WAME, right? What are the various resources? That is ethics case discussion, ethics consultation, ethics web resources, and so on. Okay, so this is a very wonderful again resource one can browse through. Then the next one is the ICMJE, that is International Committee of Medical Journal Editors. Only 16 member, even though it is small, but they have they are very powerful. Okay, they have come up with what they call it as the different URM. That is, it has, as a matter of fact, evolved. I'll not go into the details because we do not have much time. We have got 10-15 minutes more. But what has happened in 1978, some somebody has submitted, that is one of the fellow who was responsible of making this organization, he or she has submitted a paper to one particular journal, and he received a lot of comments that this is to be written like this and so on, right? So what they did, there were no standards those days. I'm talking about 1978. So then they have come up, they decided to meet somewhere, and they have come up with some uniform requirement, right? So what they call it as, since they met in Vancouver city of Canada, okay, it is also called as the Vancouver group, okay, and their first meeting took place in 1979. First URM they have come up, 1997 complete revision, 2007 is the latest version, and it is adopted and followed by almost all the large journals, ICMG, right? So this, as I said, popularly known as URM, or it is also known as the Vancouver style. Okay, Vancouver style. That is the another name given to, because the meeting took place in Vancouver. That's why the Vancouver style. Okay, there is no other reason for that. So 14 to 17, they are coming up with some annual revisions and so on. Right. Again, there's a lot of stuff you can like explore it later on. Okay. So this is all from my end. I have intentionally kept 10 minutes, okay, for the discussion. Okay. So this is, I once again, I would like to thank you all for a patience hearing. If there are any queries, I'll be happy to answer. Yes. I hope you people are with me. Hello.
Anyone if anyone has any question, they can ask.
Yes, sir. Joshi sir seems to be involved from the beginning.
Yes,
So you
sir.
are from
Thank you, sir.
which department, sir? You are from which department?
I'm from AIDS department.
Great,
PIT.
sir. Great. So I'll stop sharing, and I would love to hear your, what should I say, mm, your maybe comments or the anything you would like to say. Okay, we can have some discussion. This is what is there as far as this research and development is concerned. I think one part Dr. Suraj Sharma must have covered is the tools part. Okay. So anybody who would like to ask anything?
So there is one question in chat
Yes, sir.
box. How
Yes,
much
sir.
AI plug? How much AI plug acceptable? Question is from Yashwant Ingre, sir.
How much
Plagiarism acceptable?
AI plagiarism acceptable? Actually, use of AI for writing a research paper is ethically, I'm making a bold statement, it is ethically not correct. Okay. So we should not use all these tools. Okay, you can very well use AI tools for maybe carrying out literature survey, but not for writing or paraphrasing. Okay, that's why I'm saying. So and as a matter of fact, we need to have some policy guideline when it comes to AI. Unfortunately, as on date, maybe in the maybe years to come, you may have, just like we have guidelines issued by UGC with regard to academic integrity. Okay, you may find maybe 6 months or so, you may find some white paper in this regard. So as on date, sir, there is no guidelines. But ethically, it is not correct to make use of AI for writing complete article. There are tools available. Okay, again, there are tools available. We'll not go into those two. See, there is always this is an era wherein, as a matter of fact, you are witnessing disruptions. I should say, right? AI is all about disruptive technology. If I'm not wrong, right? But we need to regulate it at the same time, right? So, for what purpose we have to use AI? Again, that needs to be categorically defined, right? As on date, we do not have any guideline in black and white. Okay, and that's why I think the question you have posed, how much AI flag acceptable, is open-ended and unanswered, right? So we do not have any at least I do not know. Maybe if some of the, you can say, the participant, any one of you, if you can put light on that, I'd be happy to listen to you. But AI flag acceptable, right? So I hope I have answered your query, sir. Uh, it was Yashwant Sudhakar Ingre, sir. I hope you are there, sir, in the meeting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We use
So,
for refreshing only because our
yes,
English is not good. So
yes.
sometimes it is required. Then only.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
But you said how much mean you want me to quantify it. That's why I said I'll not be in any position to quantify it, right?
No problem. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much, sir.
Okay, okay. Anybody else who wish to ask anything? See, we are left with two more sessions tomorrow and day after tomorrow. We will have tomorrow. One of the session will be engaged by Professor Gupta, sir. He will be talking on academic integrity. And the second session, actually, Bedre sir was having some problem, and that's why I entered into. Right. So I hope you enjoyed the session. And if there are a few more queries in chat box again, you can write developing in all areas. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. So apart from thank you, I don't find any queries. How much AI flag is the only question. Okay. Oh, it was nice interacting with you. Okay. So I feel that there are no more questions. Three messages, let me go through some. Three new messages are there. Okay, great session, well received. All right. So what I thought some questions are there anyway. I don't know the problem what you have at present. Chat box you are enjoying a lot, but finding it difficult to switch on your cameras or maybe your microphone. Okay, see what is expected in this session is actually only 1 hour of yes, sir. Yashwant Dingre, sir. Nice to see you. At least you have switched on your camera. That's why. Okay. Uh, so it was great interacting with you. Thank you very much. Okay. If you have any queries, you can fire it now, or otherwise we'll wait for a minute or so and then we'll discuss. Thank you once again. Okay then. Joshi sir, let us.
Yes, sir.
I think yes, sir.
Yes,
Let
sir.
us wind up. You
Yes,
seems
let
to
us
be
wind
active
up.
in all the session. I used to join most of the time. Rishikesh Joshi sir, I found you little interactive. Okay.
I'm actually committee member, sir.
Great.
Yes.
Great
Yes, we
to
would
see you
like
all.
to yes, sir. We would like to sincerely thank you, sir, for conducting insightful and enriching session on research paper writing. Definitely, there are good ideas from your side. Session provided our faculty with valuable guidance on structuring research papers. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
On this note, we
Yes,
can
sir.
conclude this session. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. See you tomorrow, same time, that is
See you,
3
sir.
o'clock. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.